Hello, everyone. I'm Joe Magaliano, a certified AI Master Trainer and volunteer of Cyber Guardians PH. And together with me,
Hey everyone, so I am Ferdinand Miliare, one of the master trainer and the training coordinator of Cyber Guardians PH.
yes, and today po kami po ni Ma'am She ay magda-discuss about Hour of AI. But first of all, ano nga ba ang Hour of AI? Let's watch this video.
Welcome to the Hour of AI. Let's show how AI can strengthen creativity, critical thinking, and responsible use for every learner. The Hour of AI. We shift what's next.
Ayun. So, ang Hour of AI is about shifting what is next. Ang Hour of AI actually po ay isang global movement para maipakilala ang AI to different sectors like students, teachers, parents, communities. At ang goal po is for us to showcase na AI is really for everyone. Na pwede po tayong gumamit ng AI at therefore, kailangan nating maunawaan ano nga ba ang tamang paggamit ng AI para safe po tayong lahat. Ang Hour of AI po ay isang initiative na align din po sa AI Ready ASEAN program ng ASEAN's Foundation at supported ng google.org. Now, here po sa Philippines, meron po tayong Cyber Guardians PH, a non-profit, non-profit NGO, na ang goal po is to create a safer cyberspace po, protecting children and youth from online abuse, exploitation, cyberbullying, misinformation, and digital addictions. At ang Cyber Guardians PH po ay isa sa mga partners ng ASEAN Foundation para maisagawa itong Hour of AI. At sakto po no ng Hour of AI at ang Cyber Guardians PH kasi po yung AI na po napakadali na pong mag-generate ngayon ng deepfakes ng mga kunwari ginagawa ng ibang tao kahit hindi naman mga fake news. Kaya ang CGPH po ay andito po para mas mapalaganap natin ang pag-unawa sa AI para mas maprotektahan po natin ang ating kabataan at ang ating sarili sa mga AI misinformation po. Now, for today's session, we are going to talk about three things po, three segments. First is, paano natin pwedeng gamitin yung AI ngayon at ano nga ba ang AI? Pangalawa is, paano tayo magiging ready sa future kung saan ang AI ay nandito na at mas magiging laganap pa. At ang pangatlo is responsible AI and cyber safety. At kami po ni Ma'am Shea ay magda-divide ng topics na ito. So first, AI at work. Ano nga ba ang AI? Let's watch this video.
AI is the most transformative technology of our time. From precision agriculture to precision medicine, from personalized e-commerce to personalized education, and from connected cars to connected homes. It's likely you're already experiencing many of the everyday applications of AI in your life. In this video series, you'll learn how AI works and why it matters. You'll see how with AI we can use data to train computers on just about anything. You'll explore how we can use AI to simulate neural networks in order to learn, and how AI enables computers to recognize objects too. And importantly, you'll learn about the broad societal impacts of AI and how to guard against unintended consequences. It's inspiring to see what AI can do in the hands of change makers who harness it to address society's most pressing challenges. At the same time, we must ensure we build AI responsibly, taking a principled approach and asking the difficult questions, like not what computers can do, but what computers should do. I'm excited to see what each of you will dream and invent with AI and how you will apply this powerful technology to build the world that we all want to live in. I hope you enjoy this course. Thank you all very much.
Ayun. So, sinabi sa video na yan, right, na ang AI, napakarami na siyang societal impacts. And alam nyo ba na sa Thailand, ginagamit nila yung AI for their flood control projects. Marami na rin gamit ang AI when it comes to advancing medicine, like easily identifying kung cancerous ba ang isang lump of mass. At even here sa Philippines, there was this, nung nag-launch po yung Agapay or Agap AI, yung mga bata po sa Quezon City Senior High School, ginamit nila yung AI para ma-identify yung mga tanim na pwede nang anihan ng mga farmers. So, marami na po talagang impact yung AI sa society if nagagamit po siya natin ng tama. No, agriculture man yan, flood control projects, medicine, and more. Now, you might be wondering, AI, parang ngayon lang natin siya narinig. Parang ilang years ago lang natin siya narinig. Alam niyo po ba na ang AI ay andito na po since 1950s pa? The thing lang is, hindi lang siya easily accessible sa atin. To give you an example po, no, dati po nung hindi pa po natin naririnig parati yung term na AI, yung AI po andito na. Like pag nanonood tayo ng YouTube videos or ng TikTok, pansin niyo po ba na pag nagsuscroll po tayo at nag-like tayo ng isang video, let's say, na-like natin yung isang cooking video. After that, parang parati na lang cooking videos yung mapapanood nyo. So, ganun po yung algorithm natin na tinatawag, no? And it's actually AI-powered. It's learning from the patterns that we have po. So, kung ganun, kung ang AI ay andito na pala matagal na, bakit ngayon lang natin siya nagagamit? Ito po kasi ay sa kadahilanan na yung AI is hindi siya accessible sa lahat dati. Like mga big companies lang po yung nakaka-access nun, mga government, ganyan. But, since 2022 po, no, nung nilaunch yung ChatGPT, naging accessible na po yung AI sa atin, na wala tayong binabayaran, na pwede na natin siyang gamitan for free. So, yun po yung dahilan. Ibig sabihin po, na-democratize po yung paggamit natin sa AI. At to be specific po, yung 2022, tinatawag po natin yung AI na yon na generative AI or Gen AI. Now, when it comes to using AI at work, of course, napakarami na po niyang gamit, no? So, to give an example, sa mga nag-a-apply po ng trabaho, pwede po natin gamitin si AI sa paggawa or pag-improve rather ng resume, sa pag-prepare sa atin sa interviews. Sa mga students naman po, napakadali na lang pong maintindihan yung bagay-bagay through AI. Makapag-research po, hindi na po kailangan pumunta sa library palagi, makakapag-generate na po siya ng list of resources. At of course, ma-improve yung grammar sa mga reports, sa mga sinusulat natin. Sa office workers naman po, madali na rin pong ma-automate yung mga data natin. I was talking to some office workers, no, wherein yung trabaho nila is i-digitize or i-type manually yung mga hard copies. Ngayon, napakadali na lang po yan with AI. Pipicturean mo lang, tapos ilalagay mo lang yung picture sa AI, tapos ayun na, magiging Word file na siya. Pwede na po yun ngayon. At sa daily life naman po, of course, pwede din natin siyang gamitan when it comes to, let's say, magpa-plan tayo ng let's say, vacation trip or magba-budget tayo, di natin alam ano yung gusto natin kainin or ano man yung desisyon na gusto natin gawin. So, pwede din po natin yung gamitan si AI para tulungan tayo nito. Now, to give you an example, no, really quickly. So, here po, pupunta lang po ako sa Gemini. So, napakarami pong AI tools na pwede natin gamitan. Isa po dun si Gemini, pwede rin ChatGPT, pwede rin kahit ano. The reason lang why I'm using Gemini is Gemini yung gamit ko sa laptop ko. Now, that being said, si Gemini, ChatGPT, whatever tool man po yan, may mga similar features po yan. First feature po, so I'll just walk you through this, no? Sa left side po, right, meron po tayong sidebar. Dito pwede tayong mag-new chat. Yung mga previous conversations natin, yung mga previous na tanong natin, pwede nating hanapin dito. Hindi ko na lang po i-click para niyo po makita kung anong sinesearch ko. And then, in the upper right corner po, meron dito tayong tinatawag na temporary chat. And yung temporary chat, ito po yung pwede natin gamitin kung ayaw natin. Para po siyang incognito, 'di ba? Kung sa Google Chrome may incognito, dito rin po may incognito din po siya. Ito po yung temporary chat sa upper right corner. Now, going here sa middle naman po, like if you click the plus sign, dito po tayo pwedeng mag-click ng upload tayo ng files. Dito din pwede tayong pumili kung ang gusto ba natin mag-create ng image, mag-create ng video, ganyan. Gumawa ng code or gumawa ng PowerPoint slides. Dito po yan sa Canvas and so much more. Pwede rin creating music sa mga teachers, gumawa ng guided learning materials like reviewers, dito po yan. Deep research din po, ito lagi itong available regardless of what AI tool, no? Yung deep research, ito yung pipiliin mo pag gusto mong malalim yung paghahanap na gawin ng AI. Let's say na meron kang napaka-komplikadong tanong at gusto mong isipin talaga ni AI yung sagot, pipiliin mo tong deep research. Kasi pag pinili mo yung deep research, 5 beses iisipin ni AI yung tanong mo before siya sumagot. Kaya mas matagal din siyang sumagot pag deep research, unlike pag normal lang, ganito. Then, dito naman po sa drop-down, as you can see, may 3.1, 3.5, ganon. Para lang po tong iPhone. 'Di ba iPhone, may iPhone 17, may iPhone 15, ganyan po. Ganun din po to. Kung gaano kalaki yung number, ibig sabihin po, ito po yung mas bagong nilabas. At yung mga names naman po, so parang iPhone lang din, may iPhone Pro, iPhone Pro Max. So pag may Pro, ibig sabihin mas advanced yung sagot niya. So, with that, let's say no na gusto natin gumawa ng image, gusto natin gumawa ng picture. So, pwede lang po natin again i-click yung create image kung gusto natin gumawa ng picture, then sabihin natin cat in a chicken. Ito gusto ko lang to kasi mahilig ako sa cats. Costume on a beach. Ayan. So, sabi ko lang dito, mag-create ka ng image ng cat in a chicken costume on a beach. So, ngayon, mag-generate na po siya ng image. So, yun. Pwede natin gawin yung AI sa whatever man na generation na pwede natin gawin. So, naglo-load lang siya, right? Ayun, very cute. So, yan. Isang example on how to use these AI tools. Now, going back po, no? Hold on. Alright. So, now na alam na natin na napakaraming use pala ng AI, mapa-agriculture, mapa-medicine, and even in our daily lives, no? Knowing that and knowing na AI is here to stay, what are the things that we should do to be AI ready? Now, there are 5 things po na we can do, no? First is generative models fluency. Ibig sabihin, maging marunong sa mga different models na available publicly. May mga different models po kasi tayo, di ba? May ChatGPT, may Claude, may Gemini, may Microsoft Copilot. So, napakarami pong products. Ano po ba yung difference noon? At ano po ba yung mga limitasyon noon? Kailangan po nating malaman yun para mas effectively natin magamit yon. So, first is generative models fluency. Second is prompt engineering expertise. So, ito po, paano po natin gagamitin yung AI effectively. Third is data analysis and literacy, followed by human and AI collaboration and continuous learning. So, let's go through each of these 5 things. First is generative models fluency. Again, ito po ay about understanding ano po ba yung generative AI, ano po ba yung mga models, at ano po ba yung mga limitasyon niya. So first of all, artificial intelligence po, again, ay napaka-broad na term. At dati na po siya since 1950s. Now, within artificial intelligence, may tinatawag po tayong machine learning. Ang machine learning, from the word itself, machine learning, tinuturuan po natin yung machine na matuto na katulad kung paano tayo matuto. Dati kasi yung machine, pag ano lang siya sunod lang siya sa kung ano yung gusto mong gawin. Let's say, pag i-press mo yung button, mag-open yung door, right, sa elevator. Tapos pag i-press mo yung another button, magko-close yung door sa elevator. Ganun lang po yung mga machines dati. Like, sunod lang siya sa kung ano yung ginagawa natin. Machine learning naman ay more than that. It's learning through trial and error. Tapos, kahit hindi mo na siya gawin, matututo na siya. So, going back sa elevator, no, ito yung mga elevators na smart enough na malaman kung saang floor ka na nakatira. Ganon, sumakay ka lang, alam na kung saang floor ka nakatira. Ganon yung machine learning na level up na siya. Like, hindi mo na kailangang sabihin, natututo na siya based sa informasyon na nakalap niya about you. Now, within machine learning po, again, yung nagagamit natin ngayon, ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok, ito po ay under generative AI. So, as you can see, napakalawak ng AI na term at yung nagagamit natin ngayon ay isang malit na bagay lang ni AI na tinatawag nating generative AI. So, ang generative AI, from the word itself, generative, so it creates new things. It can create text, it can create images like nung nakita natin kanina, di ba, na nag-create siya ng cat in a chicken costume, music and videos as well. So, it creates new things. And within Gen AI naman po, may tinatawag po tayong large language models. You can think of it this way. Kung si Gen AI ay isang kotse, si large language model ay yung engine ng kotseng yon. At may mga different engines po na available sa market. Yun po yung nakikita nating binibenta like Gemini, ChatGPT, 'di ba? Claude and all of those other AI tools. So yun po ay different products ng engines or different products ng large language models. Now, as you can see also, this infographic po actually is created through Gemini at ito lang po yung prompt ko. Of course, dinouble check ko yung output, but as you can see, right, napakadali na pong gumawa ngayon ng mga infographics. Takes you less than minutes.
My name is Ale Flores, and I'm a product manager at Alexa.
My name is Dr. Chelsea Haupt. I work at the Allen Institute for Artificial Intelligence, and I work on an AI-powered academic search engine. All around you, computers are making decisions, and those decisions affect your daily life. When you do an internet search or scroll through your newsfeed, computers decide what you see. Computers can already recognize your face and understand your voice. And soon they'll be driving cars and detecting diseases even better than humans. So how is any of this possible?
You may have heard about something called AI, or artificial intelligence. True artificial intelligence is decades away. But there's a type of AI called machine learning that is here today. It's a type of AI you probably interact with every day without even knowing it. And it has the opportunity to help us tackle some of the world's biggest challenges.
Machine learning is how computers recognize patterns and make decisions without being explicitly programmed. What's so exciting is that it's a completely different way to program a computer than what we've ever done before. With machine learning, instead of programming a computer step by step, you can program a computer to learn just like you learn, through trial and error and lots of practice.
Learning comes from experience, and that's true for machine learning too. In this case, experience means lots and lots of data. Machine learning can take in any kind of data, images, video, audio, or text, and begin to recognize patterns in that data. Once it learns to recognize patterns in the data, it can also learn to make predictions based on those patterns, like noticing the difference between an image of a car and an image of a bicycle.
AI and machine learning are playing a bigger and bigger role in society. and shaping all of our futures. That's why it's so important to learn how it works with some hands-on experience. Remember, AI is like any tool. First you get the knowledge, then you get the power.
Ayun. So, as said po sa video, machine learning, right, is about learning na katulad kung paano natututo yung mga tao, which is through practice, through trial and error. Now, ano po ba yung trial and error na to? So, basically, marami pong impormasyon na binibigay, na pinapakain kay AI. Tapos, based po sa information na yun, yun lang din po yung magiging basis ng sagot niya. So, it's actually through probability po yung sagot ni AI. At ano po yung alam natin with probability? Ibig sabihin po, hindi po siya 100% sure. Prediction lang po siya lahat. At yun po yung napaka-importante na maintindihan natin when it comes to AI. Hindi po siya laging tama. May tendency po siyang magkamali at ang tawag natin sa pagkakamali yon ay hallucination. Kasi yun nga po, probability lang po talaga si AI at therefore kailangan nating i-double check yung output natin para masigurado kung tama ba yung sinasabi ni AI. Parang lang po yung alcohol, di ba? Hindi naman po 100% namamatay yung bacteria, germs sa alcohol. Ganon din po with AI. 99% po would say na okay, it's working, pero lagi po talaga kailangan natin siyang i-double check. So again po, sa models, may different large language models po tayong available. Ito po yung mga products, right, na pwede nating magamit. Yung models na to, may different strengths, may different weaknesses sila, parang brain lang, may mga different IQs yung mga models na to, kaya kailangan nating malaman ano yung sakto sa task natin. At kahit anong model man yan, may tendency siya mag-hallucinate, kaya kailangan po nating i-double check yung output ng AI. Now, we talked about the different models available, no? Now, let's talk about prompt engineering. Ano nga ba yung prompt engineering? So, if may car ka, di ba, kailangan mong matutong mag-drive para magamit yung car. Similarly, if may AI tool ka, kailangan mong matuto ng prompt engineering para magamit mo effectively yung AI. So, prompt engineering is how to talk to the AI tools. Now, marami pong ways ng pagdadrive, di ba? At marami rin pong ways para magamit yung AI tool. Pero may mga techniques po tayong tinatawag. At ang pinaka-basic na technique na ituturo ko sa inyo today, ito po yung pundasyon ng lahat ng other techniques pa. Ito po ay tinatawag nating RTFD structure or Role Task Format Details. Tinatawag din po namin tong root prompt technique kasi ito po yung ugat, ito po yung pundasyon ng iba't pang techniques doon. Ano nga ba ang role task format details? So ito po, again, nasa prompt engineering na po tayo, no? Ito po yung paano natin mai-improve yung paggamit natin sa AI. Now, typically, di ba, yung sinasabi lang natin kay AI is, uy, improve mo yung grammar nito, summarize mo to. Another example is this, give me news about inflation and prices in the Philippines. So, pag ginawa ko po to, di ba, hold on, let me copy-paste this. And give me news about inflation prices, ganyan. So, yan, pupunta lang din po ako ulit dito. Magti-temporary chat lang ako. So, let's say this. Give me news about inflation and prices in the Philippines. So, if I click on this one, right, ito po yung sagot na mabibigay niya sa akin. So, mag-search siya sa web. Tapos, ayun, meron siyang, okay, 4.1 search daw, ganyan-ganyan, ano yung nagda-drive ng price increase. Ito gusto ko tong malaman para makapag-prepare ako, di ba? Para, sa pamimili and everything, alam ko kung ano yung dapat gawin. So, as you can see here, okay, nasagot naman niya yung tanong, pero hindi siya relatable sa akin. Like, hindi ko maunawaan paano to magiging relatable sa akin. So, para mangyari po yun, ang kailangan ko lang gawin ay i-follow yung RTFD structure. Again, yung RTFD is Role, Task, Format, Details. Sa role po, ito po dito, kailangan ko lang specify kung ano ako, kung sino ako, para mas maunawaan ni AI kung sino ako at para mas masagot niya na yung sagot kung saan relevant siya sa akin. Isipin niyo po kasi si AI, napakatalino niya, napakarami niyang alam, na marami siyang degrees na hinahawakan. So, kailangan kong i-specify kung ano yung role na kailangan i-play ni AI na magiging relevant sa akin. Second naman is yung task. Yung task naman is, again, ito na yung typical na ginagawa niyo. Sinasabi niyo kung ano yung gustong gawin ni AI. Then yung format, depende kung gusto mo nyo ba ng email format, gusto nyo ba ng table, gusto nyo ba ng picture, dito na po yung kung anong klaseng resulta yung gusto mong ibigay ni AI sa inyo. At yung details, of course, if meron pa yung additional information, like let's say, gusto mo yung sagot sa'yo in Tagalog or in Taglish, pwede mong specify yun. Gusto mo na yung sagot, focus lang sa ganitong bagay. Let's say may budget ka, 10,000 pesos. Gusto mo na yung ibibigay sa yung sagot within that budget. So, pwede rin ganun. To give you an example, no? So again, let's say na ang normal prompt mo is give me news about inflation and prices in the Philippines. Kasi yun nga, gusto mong maging ready as let's say you're a parent, right? Gusto mong maging ready para sa price increases, ano yung dapat mong gawin. So here, I will just copy-paste lang po kung ano yung sinulat ko. But basically here, sinabi ko sa role na si AI dapat mag-act siya as a practical Filipino na nagmamanage ng household budget. Sa task naman, gusto ko na tumingin si AI ng mga latest news about rising grocery prices, Meralco power hikes, price ng rice, right? So, ganun. Then yung format, gusto ko lang ng scannable list para malaman ko again kung ano yung nag-increase. And then yung details, keep it short and simple lang. Casual language sabi ko dito, so pwede ko rin specify na Taglish, ganon. Kasi gusto kong maunawaan. Tapos gusto kong mag-cite ng sources ko rin para mo double check ko. Kasi yun po, diba? Like, kailangan natin i-double check yung output ni AI. Ayan. So, as you can see, Taglish na yung sagot niya. Ito, sinabi niya na, ito po yung increase ng prices from 7.1 to 7.9. Ito rin yung increase ng kuryente. Tapos, meron rin siyang wise tip. Like, for example, here, 50 pesos price cap, right? So, yun yung gamitan natin. Tapos, okay, unplug appliances, na naka-standby lang. So, we all have these, right? School costs as well, andito rin, may tips din. So, ngayon, relevant na siya sa akin, right? Kasi sinabi ko na ganun. At itong lahat ng to ay na-improve because of the RTFD structure or the role, task, format, details. Ito po, hindi naman kailangan na gawin nyo to every time gumagamit kayo ng AI, no? Importante lang po itong gamitan pag may mga malalaki kayong projects na ginagawa. Tapos, pwedeng once nyo lang siyang gamitan, tapos mag-chat lang kayo ng mag-chat sa AI after nyo magamit yung prompt na to. Again, RTFD structure para mas mapaganda po yung sagot ni AI sa inyo. Alright. Now, let's go to the third aspect, which is data analysis and literacy. Hindi ko na po tayo play for now, no? But basically po, as what we have discussed earlier, yung sagot po ni AI ay based po sa impormasyon na pinakain natin kay AI. At si Ma'am Shepa, papakita po niya yan later on para ma-visualize pa natin. Now, therefore, kung yung sagot ni AI is based sa impormasyon na binigay natin kay AI, ano po ba yung mga impormasyon na yon? Yung mga impormasyon na po to ay mga impormasyon available publicly, kaya napaka-importante po no na ilagay lang po natin yung mga impormasyon na ready po tayong ibigay publicly. Huwag po tayong magbigay ng sensitive private data kasi po binibigay na natin po yun kay AI. Similarly po, when it comes to talking to AI, no, wag din po natin ibigay lahat ng detalye, lalo na po kung personal at sensitive po siya. Like, wag po natin ibigay kay ChatGPT yung bank account details natin or yung result natin with the doctor, right? Or kung may trabaho tayo, wag natin ibibigay yung impormasyon ng mga kliyente natin kay AI. Kasi every time na nagtutalk tayo kay AI, natututo si AI sa atin based sa impormasyon na binigay natin. At ayaw naman natin, di ba, na malaman ni AI yung mga sensitive information na yon. So, napaka-importante po na i-protect po natin yung sarili nating personal data at yung personal data ng ibang tao kung nasa kumpanya man kayo. At yung nasa gitna naman po is, again, because of the data na pinapakain natin, it can lead to bias and can lead to hallucination. Kaya kailangan po nating laging i-double check yung output ni AI. At itong output na po ito na pag-double check ay yung tinatawag natin na human in the loop. So, ang human in the loop po ay framework na binigay ng United Nations na basically po sa kahit anong bagay na gamit natin si AI, kailangan po natin i-double check yung sagot ni AI. So, you can think of it that way na si AI ay ang isa nating katulong kaagapay sa paggawa, pero tayo po yung boss. Tayo po yung mag-check ng sagot ni AI. At dahil dyan po, no, tatalon na po ako sa fourth skill, which is the human and AI collaboration. So, marami pong nagtatanong, lalo na po yung mga kabataan ngayon, na naku, paano na yan, mapapalitan na tayo ni AI, right? Ang sagot ko po dito ay ito. Yes po, napaka-powerful po ni AI. Napakabilis niya, dami niyang alam, magaling siya sa pattern recognition, prediction, mga repetitive tasks kaya niyang gawin. That being said po, no, hindi po mapapalitan ni AI yung creativity natin, yung judgment and ethics natin, kung ano yung tama, kung ano yung mali, tayo pa rin yung nakakaalam nun. Kasi at the end of the day, si AI, machine lang naman, hindi niya alam kung ano yung tama at ano yung mali. At tayo pa rin yung nakaka-build ng relationships with each other, yung empathy natin. At again, tayo rin po yung may alam ng lahat. Si AI, marami man siyang alam, pero hindi niya alam kung paano mo ginagamit yung kaalaman mo. Kaya kailangan mo pa rin siyang utusan ng tama. And again, human in the loop framework. So, marami mong pong jobs ngayon na about AI, hindi po mawawala yung humans na dapat na nag-check ng output ni AI. And then lastly po, no, yung fifth skill is about continuous learning. Katulad din po ito ng iba't ibang teknolohiya, napakabilis po niyang magbago at mag-improve. Kaya napaka-importante po na tayo po may prinsipyo na po tayo na lagi po tayong willing to learn. Kasi sinasabi ko na ganito yung AI ngayon, pero baka malay nyo, next month, may new skills na naman siya na kailangan nating matutunan. So yeah, yun po. Again, paano po maging ready sa future? All we have to do are 5 things. 1, matuto po ng mga different generative models. 2, maging prompt engineering expert. 3, alamin na data ang pinapakain kay AI, kaya let's protect our personal data. 4th po is the human and AI collaboration. And then lastly, continuous learning po. At ayun lang po on my end. Ngayon po ipapakita na po ni Ma'am Shai kung how AI works. Thank you.
Sobrang daming learnings po talaga natin about AI. Ano po? So, karamihan po medyo namamangka kay AI. Ano po? Pero, hindi po na aware. saan nga po ba nanggagaling yung data ni AI? Paano nga po ba natututo si AI? So ngayon, allow me to share my screen po. Meron lang po tayong exciting activity na sana enjoy po natin. Ano po? Okay. So kanina po yun na po ni Ma'am Jo, and explain na po yung machine learning. Ano po? So, mag-quick lang po natin, brief discussion. So, si machine learning po, so tinuturuan po natin yung machine na matuto na parang tayo. And sabi sa video kanina, yung machine learning is rights of data. So, tingnan po natin, paano nga po ba mag-encode kay AI? So, next na po natin ito. Ano po, at na-view naman po kanina. Let's wait lang po. Siya po ay AI for oceans. So sabi din sa trivia, garbage dump in the water affects in marine life. So in this activity, you will program or train AI or the artificial intelligence to identify fish or trash. So sa po ay wala po pong alam. So ang gagawin natin para magkaroon siya ng data, input po natin. So let's click muna sa poster. So ito po si AI. Yung machine natin. Object is a fish or a trash, but it can process the images and identify patterns. Then if fish po ba siya or not. So basically, parang kung titingnan po natin, parang napaka-basic naman ng activity, but yung thought na magaling pala mag-encode kay AI. So let's see. So ayan, this is a fish. Ito po ay trash or not fish. Not fish again. And not fish. Not fish again. So trivia again. So did you know the 17 billion pounds of plastic enter the ocean each year? So napakadami po. So ngayon, gagawa po tayo or tuturuan po natin yung machine or si AI na ma-identify yung mga basura sa hindi. Para if ever na mag-create tayo ng isang machine na lilinis sa ating ocean, so ito na po yun. So yung programming or training AI with each choice. So let's see. So meron na po tayong 5 training data. So, ang gawin po natin is 10 training data. So, ito pa yung fish, not fish, and not fish po ulit. Ito yung fish po siya, and fish. So, meron na po, as you can see, meron na po tayong 10 training data. So, continue lang po natin siya. So, ngayon, let's see kung saan nga po ba, or sa po ba, ay makaka-perfect na identify ng mga fish sa hindi. So tingnan po natin. So AI will analyze a random set of objects and label them based on your training. So 10 training data lang po yung meron tayo. So let's see. Okay, continue po natin. So, ayan. So, ano itong nakikita natin sa video or sa screen natin? So, merong 1, 2, 3. Merong ilang hindi fish. Na-identify po ni AI na fish. So, ibig sabihin, yung 10 training data natin, hindi pa sapat para maging perfect. Ma-identify talaga ni AI na yung fish sa hindi fish. So, pwede naman po natin siyang i-train. I-train more, like mga 20 data, 30 data, para mas maging perfect po na, perfect na AI yung pag-identify ng fish sa hindi. Okay, so you can train AI more. Pero, continue na po natin, para medyo mabilis yung natin. So, ganun lang po yung pinapakita doon sa activity na once na ang data natin ay kukunti or hindi sapat, possible, yun yung sinasabi nila kanina, mag-hallucinate sa AI. Na i-identify mo yung bagay na hindi naman talaga as fresh. Ano po? Let's continue. And another activity po natin. Ayan, so far we trained AI to identify object as either fish or not fish. So tingnan naman po natin, what if daw yung training data natin is ganito natin kung ano naman daw po yung belong sa water. Ano, gamit yung ng data. So what would happen to other sea creatures? Is our training approach cause unintended consequence? So tingnan po natin. So ayan, so pansinin po natin yung mga pictures, yung mga images na identified AI. So did you notice that AI identified some sea creatures daw as not fit? Kasi nga, ang binilagay lang natin na data is yung kanina. Which is, hindi talaga ma-identify ni AI kasi nga, si jellyfish is hindi naman natin siya ni-train kanina. Ano po? So while these sea creatures are not fish, they do belong sa water. So ibig sabihin, kada gusto natin ibigay kay AI, kailangan iba-ibang data yung ibibigay natin sa kanya. So sabi nga, AI learns what we teach it. So let's train AI again. Continue lang po natin. So dito po sa activity, kasi nga po hindi na-identify ni AI si jellyfish is belong sa water. Ngayon, gagawin natin, ititrain ulit natin si AI. Based naman sa tanong na, does this belong in the water? Ano, so let's teach AI to learn which object should be in the water. Okay? Yung fish, syempre, belong po siya sa water. Yes? Ito, hindi po. Ano, ito mga garbage. Okay? Another trivia po ulit. Did you know that ocean, plastic debris can harm fish, seabirds, and marine mammals? So protecting seabirds and marine life is one of the many reasons to keep the oceans clean. So yun po. Kaya talagang kailangan natin bubuha. Actually, parang meron na itong machinery machines na tulog-tulog na linisin yung ating oceans. Ano? So the more training you provide, the more AI learns. So keep training po natin. Okay, bilang ko siya sa water. No. Yes. Ito bilang po siya sa water. So ngayon, dagdagan po natin yung data. Ano gawin po natin 20. So no. Hindi po siya bilang sa water. Yes. 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 And no. So another trivia po alert. Marine plastic pollution has impacted at least 267 species worldwide. So napakadami po affected na, including 26% of all sea turtles species. So kailangan talaga natin gumawa ng action. So keep training to teach AI what belongs in the water. So we have already the 15 training data. So kailangan pa po natin ng 5. So ito, fish, bilang po siya sa water. Yes. Yes. And yes. So continue po natin if identify na po ba no? Okay, ano? So, do you think AI will now do a better job identifying what should be in the water? So, meron po tayong 20 training data. Sa tingin din po ba natin, sapat na yon para ma-identify ni AI ano nga po ba yung belong sa water at sa hindi. So, continue po natin. So, yan, pansinin po natin, ha? Continue po natin. So far, ayan, 20 training data na yung ginamit natin kanina. Ayan, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 po yung mali. Yung mga nakikita po natin kanina, kasi hindi rin po natin nakita during nung pinitrain natin sa AI. Kaya po nag-hallucinate na naman po siya. So based on your training, here are some objects that AI identified as belong sa water. So how did AI do? Hindi pa rin po sapat yung ating 20 training data. Kaya if you want to teach AI more, pwede po natin yung laruin po. But ito, continue ko na po ulit sa ating next activity para makita pa natin paano nga po ba nag-work si AI. Actually, AI can be biased din po. And, let's watch this video para mas maunawaan po natin bakit nga po ba paano nagiging bias si AI.
Machine learning is only as good as the training data you put into it. So, it's super important to use high-quality data, and lots of it. But if data is so important, it's worth asking, where does training data come from? Often, computers are collecting training data from people like you and me without any effort on our part. A video streaming service might keep track of what you watch, then it can recognize patterns in that data to recommend what you might want to watch next. Other times, you're directly asked to help, like when a website asks you to spot street signs and photos. You're providing training data to help a machine learn to see, and maybe even one day drive. Medical researchers can use medical images as training data to teach computers how to recognize and diagnose diseases. Machine learning needs hundreds and thousands of images and training direction from a doctor who knows what to look for before it can correctly identify disease. Even with thousands of examples, there can be problems with the computer's predictions. If X-ray data is only collected from men, then the computer's predictions may only work for men. It may not recognize diseases when asked to diagnose the X-ray of a woman. This blind spot in the training data creates something called bias. Bias data favors some things and deprioritizes or excludes others. Depending on how training data is collected, who is doing the collecting, and how the data is fed into the computer, there is a chance that human bias is included in the data. By learning from biased data, the computer may make biased predictions. This can happen whether the people training the computer are aware of it or not. So when you are looking at training data, ask yourself two questions. Is this enough data to accurately train a computer? And does this data represent all possible scenarios and users without bias? This is where you, as the human trainer, can play a crucial role. It's up to you to give your machine unbiased data. That means collecting tons of examples, often from lots of different sources. Remember, when you pick and choose data for machine learning, you're actually programming the algorithm using training data instead of code. The data is the code. The better the data you provide, the better the computer will learn.
Ayan. So, ayan nga po. So, si AI ay pwede rin pong maging bias. Sabi nga, it depends din po sa pag-include natin. Kung halimbawa, binaliktad natin yung kanina, like yung fish or not fish, ang ginawa natin, yung fish ay i-consider natin is yung basura. So, ibig sabihin, possible, yung mga minsan din po na naka-AI might be bias. Hindi talagang accurate. Kaya mas maganda po if we're using some AI tool, yung mga ganyan, kailangan po natin kunin talaga yung mga legit na mga references. So ngayon, meron po tayong another activity about coding pa rin po kay AI. About naman siya sa what type of fish do you want to train AI. So, halimbawa ay, sige, ako na po pipili, like blue. So, turuan naman daw po natin sa AI ng another word. I'm throwing you an example of what that type of fish. So, tingnan po natin. Blue. Ayan. So, blue daw po ba ito? Halimbawa, ginawa ko is pinlook ko na blue. So, it can be bias. Kaya, if ever na kayo po yung mag-code, kailangan unbiased po tayo. Okay? So, as you can see, not blue naman po siya. Ayan. And ito, medyo nakakalito, di ba po? May blue, may green. So, sa pag-YouTube po talaga, dapat maingat po tayo. Can you consider, sige, blue? Not blue. Not blue again. So, create po tayo ng, or include po tayo ng 10 training data. Sige, blue po natin. Not blue. I think not blue. Blue and not. So meron na tayong training data. May tanong si AI. So, do you think AI has enough training data? So, you can select continue to find out. So, okay lang na. Try lang po natin yung training data. So, with your training data, you have programmed AI to recognize blue fish. So, tingnan po natin if sapat lang na po ba yung training data natin. So, let's see. Tingnan po natin. Okay, so based on your training, AI identified this fish as blue. So, as you can see din po, sa nakikita natin ko konti yung kulay blue. Kasi nga po, again, training data lang po yung in-encode po natin. So, ibig sabihin po, kailangan pa natin ng maraming data para mas maging accurate yung ma-identify ni AI. Ano po? So, reminder po ulit, sabi nga, the more training data you provide, the more accurate si AI. So, continue lang po natin. Okay, select the info boundary. Tingnan natin kung ano nga po ba yung other activity po natin. So, ngayon po, tingnan naman po natin, paano nga po ba nag-work si AI sa social impact ng AI sa natin. So, let's watch this video po.
AI and machine learning can affect every part of society. For instance, self-driving cars use AI to recognize their surroundings, track objects, and make super important decisions, like when to stop. Machine learning is already being used in some really amazing things. It's allowing us to be more energy efficient. We use it to improve how we grow food and manage natural resources. It's dramatically changing how we diagnose diseases and create new medicines. It's even helping the blind see.
I think it's a man jumping in the air doing a trick on a skateboard.
But there are also risks. Consider the potential impact when machine learning is used to evaluate candidates for college admission, screen applicants for bank loans, or even predict crime or spot criminals. When using machine learning in these types of applications, we need to make sure not to use prejudiced training data that would perpetuate human bias.
As AI and machine learning change everything, it's important that you have a hand in how they're being used. More than any other technology, AI has the potential to revolutionize our lives for the better, so long as it's done in a way that avoids bias that could cause harm or inequity. The most important thing about machine learning is human learning. Knowing how this technology works is the first step on your journey to using it for good.
So, sa AI po, kahit na nakakatakot, maraming natatakot kay AI, pero marami na rin pong benefits na nagagawa sa AI at nakakatulong po siya sa society. For reasons, okay. So, another word po ulit, pipili. Ako na lang po pipili. Ayan. So, let's choose the word happy. Okay, let's teach AI a word that depends on your opinion. So, sa AI po ay tuturuan naman na po natin, depende sa opinion po natin. So, it's up to you to pick a word. Okay, ang pipilian ko nga po is happy. Ayan. So, may tanong po dito, is this fish happy? So, i-base ko po sa opinion ko ha. This naman sa nakikita ko, mukhang hindi siya. Okay, not happy. Not happy. Not happy. For me, happy. Kung parang happy po, Ayan. So may tanong din po ulit, is it fair to use artificial intelligence to judge a fish by its look? Ayan. Kasi nga, yun nga po, by judgment, it based on our opinion. So while AI might seem fair and neutral, so its analysis comes from the training we provide. So what unintended bias could this cause? So dito na nga po nagsisimula, ng pagiging bias. Once na depende natin yung pag-encode ng data sa opinion po natin. Happy sa? Not happy? Not happy? So, gawa po tayo ng 20 training data. Encode po tayo na. I think not happy. Happy. Not happy. I think happy naman siya. Not happy. Ito, happy po. So, tatlo na lang. Baka naman siyang masaya. I think not happy siya. So, continue lang po natin. So, with your training data, you have programmed AI to recognize happy fish. So, let's see kung ma-recognize nga po ba ni AI kung ano yung tsura ng masayang isda. Ano po? So, let's see AI identify happy fish. So, pansinin po natin yung kanyang pag-identify. Ayan. So far, dahil gumamit naman po tayo ng medyo marami-raming data, parang 20 training data yung ginamit natin. So you can see, konti lang yung parang medyo galit or worried. Ayan. Kung ano mga na-identify po ni AI, pero meron pa rin iba-ibang expression yung nakikita natin. Kasi nga po, base lang po natin talaga siya sa opinion po natin. So based on your training, kaya na nga po yung mga nakikita. So you can train more pa po kay AI if want po natin siyang mas maging perfect. So ngayon, yung po ba sinasabing basic lang po yung activity na to na i-affirm mo siya ng what, pero nandun yung thought na ganun po pala mag-input kay AI. Hindi pala madaling mag-input kay AI. Na tayo pala yung nag-input kay AI. Na syempre mas marami pa rin kailangang gawing process para talagang mas bonito yung maging ng AI natin. So, time po natin mag-finish yun. Hindi sa mga may unang signal, pwede din pong try ito sa bahay. Ayan, after po ng activity, makaka-receive po tayo ng certificate. I-type lang po natin yung name po natin. Ayan. Kung ano mga name lang po natin and pupunta na po siya sa ating Gmail. Ayan. So, thank you po sa ating pakikinig sa ating activity. So, now, punta naman po tayo dito sa isang video. Ayan. May kapanood lang po kami.
Hey Mom, hey Dad. It's me, Ella. Well, a digital version of me, just a bit older. Amazing what technology can do these days, isn't it? All you need are a couple of pictures, like the ones you share on social media, where they can be taken and used by everybody. pictures are just memories, but for others, they are data. And for me, maybe the beginning of a horrible future. A future where my identity can be stolen, just like that. Where I can go to prison for things that I would never do. Imagine my credit score being destroyed, Dad. Or my voice copied to scam you, Mom.
I'm in trouble. I need you to send me money, please.
I don't want to become a meme, humiliated by everyone at school.
Kill yourself, you fucking loser.
And I certainly don't want this. What you share online is like a digital footprint that will follow me around for the rest of my life. I'm telling you this because I know you love me and would never do anything to harm me. So please, Mom, please, Dad, protect my virtual privacy.
Ayan. So, nakita po natin yung video ni Ella. Ano po, so nakakalungkot lang na sa ngayon, even advanced na yung technology natin, advanced na rin yung mga crime na nangyayari or nangyayari po sa ating mundo. Yan, lalo po sa Pilipinas. Ano po? So, sinasabi lang dun sa video na maging maingat po tayo sa mga pinupost natin online, sa mga sinishare natin online, kasi nga, hindi data ng iba, lalong-lalo na yung mga scammer, yung mga medyo hindi maganda yung mga ginagawa online. And tulad nga po may kailangan lang yung mga pictures, videos niya is na-edit. Ano po, ayun na nagawa na kung ano hindi maganda. Ano. So ngayon, kahit na masyadong rampant yung mga scammer na yan, scamming na yan, mga fake news na yan, so huwag po tayo masyadong matakot. Ano po, kaya po nandito din sa Cyber Guardians PH, si ASEAN Foundation to guide. Ano po, although andyan na po talaga sa AI, andyan yung technology natin, hindi na natin talaga mapipigilan yung pag-nabuk natin. So ngayon, we can do is talagang to protect our selves. Ano po? So, more than a password, dito naman po tayo. So, nandito nga po sa cybersecurity. So, ano nga po sa cybersecurity? So, sa cybersecurity is a set of tools and habits we use to protect our digital lives. For example, our identity, our money, and also yung privacy po natin from online threats. Ano po? Okay? So, mga common cybercrimes po natin, ano po yung nangyayari talaga, hindi lang po sa Pilipinas, kundi sa buong mundo. So, unang-una is online scam. Marami na po sa atin na mga nabibiktima ng online scam kasi nga, hindi na natin maniwala. Ano po? And halimbawa, ay nanalo lang ng kung ano sa Gcash, kung sino man, ay binibigay na natin yung OTP natin. And yun na, kukuha na yung kung ano mang meron sa atin. Ano? Pangalawa po, we have online blackmail. So yung iba talagang nadadala. Ano po, nag-send ng mga sensitive photos, mga videos, and hindi nila alam yun pala is gagamitin para lang manakot sa kanila. Para magbigay sila ng pera. Yan na. Ano po. And yung pangatlo po natin is identity theft and fraud. So, lalong-lalo na yung mga hilig po dyan, mag-upload ng mga personal information, mga evidence, yung ano man. So, nananakaw po yung mga information natin and possible po yung gayatin, ano po, and gamitin sa pang-i-scam. So, ito yung nakakasad, ano po. So, yung lang po is yung mga main cybercrimes, hindi lang po sa Pilipinas, kundi sa buong mundo. Pero ngayon, dahil nga po, napakabilis po talaga mag-develop, ano po, so meron ng dead person ng pang-i-scam. So ngayon po, as you can see, meron generated with pictures from Gcash or receipt, ano po. So, open na private fund transfers, screenshot, and spammers are taking advantage of it. So, ipakita naman po natin, di ba? Parang totoong-totoo. Parang hindi siya fake. Pero, fake po siya. Napakagaling lang po talaga ni AI mag-edit. And then sa second picture po natin, ito screenshot of post pa rin po, si Miss Jessica Soho daw po ay nag-endorse ng ganun. Pero hindi po, As you can see, parang talagang siya yung nasa video, pero hindi. So, yan yung power ni AI. Pero, sabi ko nga po ulit kanina, wag po tayong matakot, kundi maging aware po tayo para once ma-aware po tayo, yun yung magiging digital shield natin sa mga cybercrimes na yan. Step, So, step 1 is detection. So, kailangan talaga, meron na tayong mag-detect. Si master natin yung AI test. So, mamaya pagtatapita ko din, paano nga po ba yung AI test na yan? Yung is prevention, securing yung digital footprint, yung natin, yung mga pinapost online, yan. And step 3 is the response. So, your roadmap to digital recovery. So, isa-isahin po natin. So, how to spot these fakes? So, una po is, meron daw po tayong eye test or visual clues. So, una po is the 15-second rule. Tingnan po natin kung gaano nga po ba kahaba or yung video. And, pangalawa is yung background nonsense. Minsan po kasi, napaka-perfect yung nasa front, pero yung background, mas pansinin natin, parang may nag-iba. Naiba yung mga figure, iba po talaga yung kulma ng mga tao dun sa background din. And, other brain test po and critical thinking. Check natin, ano nga po ba yung context, and saan yung source ng video na yon or not. And, siyempre, cross-check po natin with other news. Kasi nga, baka dinaya lang po talaga yung news na yon. Parang, yan legit. Tindihan natin, paano nga po ba spot ng fakes online.
Has your social media feed started to look a little off?
Tell me I'm not hallucinating right now.
These videos generated by AI tools from Meta, Google, OpenAI, and more are spreading at a rapid pace.
We are joined now here in the studio by Nico. He's from Quarter Digital. He is here, though, in the flesh to show us some ways to spot AI-generated videos.
Let us get some tips, because this is what people really want.
When I'm trying to tell if a video is fake or if it's real, I immediately look at how long is it. Making AI videos takes a ton of computing resources. It's already using some of the most powerful computers we have available just to get 15 seconds. So to get beyond that right now is a little bit beyond the capabilities of just the machines that we have.
So when you're doing something AI, what kind of problems do people have with the details?
The details are tough. One thing I love watching is just picking people out in the background and following through the shot. And you'll see them do things that don't make any sense. They'll walk into traffic, they'll walk the wrong way. So, for example, there's a little sign that says tax, and then it becomes far.
What about the architectural nonsense? What is that?
Yeah. You know, it's the appearance of reality, but it isn't reality. And when you look at the background, you'll see those details start to fall apart.
You said you should use skepticism when you look at these things.
At the end of the day, all the tools that you're armed with when it comes to sussing out what's real and what's fake still apply to video. You know, what's the context? Are they trying to get money from you? Or are they trying to get you to do something? Another one is the source. Like, is this just a random clip that popped up in your social media feed, or is it from someone or a source that you trust? And of course, cross-check. Is there another angle of it? That's one of the most important things. If there is a second angle, then it's probably not AI.
So yun daw po ulit yung tatandaan natin. Ano po yung eye test and brain test po natin para talagang makita natin kung fake po ba yung video or totoo po talaga. So nakita naman po natin sa video, talagang yung background, yung kailangan din natin tingnan kung perfect po or not. As you can see po kanina, hindi po siya perfect. May mga naiiba yung mga figure natin. Naiiba yung mga words. Like yung kanina, yung box daw po naging far doon sa second angle. Okay? So dahil nga alam na natin, ano nga po yung mga cybercrimes na meron tayo or yung mga nangyayari dito sa atin, ngayon, ang kailangan po natin gawin is prevent po natin, hindi na natin consult po possible yung mga cybercrimes na yan, but we can prevent. Sa prevention habits, so una po natin gagawin is secure your personal information. Sa anong paraan? Beware of phishing, do not click on malicious link na nagtatanong mga personal information natin. Ano po? And pangalawa, do not post sensitive information kasi nga possible manakaw po yun yung mga information natin at magaya. And also, magamit sa pang-scam. And pangatlo, limit what you share online. Ano po yung talagang hindi possible makuha or magawa ng kung ano man. And fourth, configure your privacy settings. Talagang ayusin natin po yun. And read personal documents. If talagang sensitive po yung information na yan. Pangalawa po is secure your devices or files. Ano po, be careful of what you plug into your devices. Kasi nga possible makamay, virus. Pangalawa, be wary when connecting to free and public Wi-Fi. Kasi nga po, sa baliti, nag-connect po sa in public Wi-Fi. Ngayon, may mga, nag-start na siyang nag-contractan yung camera niya para makuha yung face niya, mga ganon. Ano po, na-track na yung kanyang cellphone. And keep application up to date. Fourth, download application from reputable sources. Kasi nga po baka sa maling link natin ma-download. And use endpoint protection or anti-malware and ad blocker. So ngayon po kasi, yung problem talaga ng mga phone is talaga nagpa-pop up na lang yung mga ads. Ano po? So, pwede daw po tayong mag-download ng mga application pang block ng ads. And, pwede po regularly back up your files. Kasi once nga pong matap yan, kung kaya naman natin, at least meron po tayong backup din. And, ito po natin gagawin, secure your accounts. Ayan, lalo na sa may mga, social media po, So, una natin gagawin, use a unique password for each account. Pangalawa, password must be complex. Actually, yung bawal na bawal is yung, and yung birthday mo, pagsasamahin mo, kasi mabilis po yung mahulaan. Kaya, medyo dapat po, And use 2FA or FA or the two factors or multiple factors authentication. Sa Facebook po, ganon. Once sign in, kailangan mo na yes or check kung ikaw po ba yung nag-sign in. And pang-lipat, secure your recovery option. And lima, enable security notification. Kasi nga, minsan, hindi natin napapansin, nakakapunta na nalalagay na pala yung ating mga account, hindi na binotrip. So once may notification, alam natin, and hindi tayo na may gumagamit or may nagtatry na open yung account natin. And panghuli po, in terms of any cybersecurity incident, po yung kailangan natin gawin. Una, report to the IT and security team right away. Hindi yung pinagpabukas pa. Para mas actionan po agad. And pangalawa, alert your colleagues and contacts kasi nga possible mabiktima na sila. So, aware po agad natin. Pangatlo, change your password and recover account immediately. And fourth, check for unauthorized activities. Kita naman po natin yan sa social media natin. And pangalawa po, scan devices for malware, baka may mga atake na sa system natin or kung ano mang nasa files po natin. So, halimbawa po tayo ay nakaranas ng mga cybercrime na yan. Saan tayo pwedeng humingi ng tulong? So, where to go when experiencing online harm? So, meron po tayo ditong QR code. Meron din po tayo ditong link na pwedeng i-copy para just in case po na maranasan po natin yun is magiging alam natin yung gagawin. Sa Philippine Online Safety Support Portal, ito po yung gabay tech natin. So, lagi po nating tandaan, ito nga po, huli natin kilala, artificial intelligence is a new tool. Ano po kaya? Huwag po tayong takot. It is neither good nor bad on its own. It depends po kasi yun sa gagamit. Sabi nga po nila, si AI ay parang knife. Ano po? Once si knife, ginamit mo sa pagluluto, mo siya in a good way. Once yung knife, ginamit natin sa pananakit ng kapwa natin, ginamit natin siya in a bad way. Ano? So, nakadepend sa taong gagamit. Ano kung po ba ay gagamitin mo sa mabuti o sa masama. Kaya, by learning how it works together, we are able to use it to improve our day-to-day lives and keep ourselves safe online. Ano po? So, yun lang po talaga yung tatandaan natin. Ano? Si AI, sa mabuti natin gagamitin. Ano? So, yun. Meron lang po kami dito i-play na video. If you want to learn po talaga mas malalim kay AI, meron po dito another
Welcome to AI Class ASEAN, your platform to learn, grow, and connect with other ASEAN citizens to improve your AI knowledge. Everyone is welcome here. Start with the basics and learn what AI really is in a simple, easy-to-understand way. Level up with future-ready skills through insightful modules, an AI chatbot, and multilingual support. Complete the modules, enhance your AI skills, earn your badges, and get your completion certificate. Learn anytime, anywhere, on any device. Ready to learn? Start your journey now. Welcome.
Another video po about AI class
AI is
ASEAN.
shaping the future of digital transformation across ASEAN. ASEAN has played a pivotal role in coordinating efforts to create a more inclusive AI ecosystem for its member states, and to continue to champion this mission to ensure equitable AI development. However, with ASEAN countries at varying stages of readiness, the rapid rise of AI brings unique challenges that each nation must tackle in its own way. That's where AI-Ready ASEAN steps in, helping everyone in ASEAN adapt to and benefit from AI. With support from Google.org, the ASEAN Foundation is implementing AI-Ready ASEAN to empower the AI literacy of 5.5 million people in ASEAN, focusing on the youth, educators, and parents. We'll train 2,000 master trainers and reach 800 people with hands-on AI learning, along with an awareness-raising campaign on AI, organize regional and national convenings, publish a regional-scale research on AI, and launch an e-learning platform for the AI Resource Hub for easy access. Anytime, anywhere. We can ensure no one is left behind in this exciting tech revolution. Let's get AI ready together. AI.
Ayan. So, kanina po, yun pong hour of AI po natin is basic lang po. Pero kung gusto pa po natin na mas matutunan sa AI, so meron po tayong QR code po dito and link. Pwede po natin yung picturean, copy para mas matuto pa po tayo about AI. Yun po sa nakikinig ng ating hour of AI or yung basic AI awareness po natin. So, Ma'am Jo, baka po may idadagdag po.
Yeah, wala na on my end. So, we can close this. Thank you so much, Ma'am Shat.
Ayan. Thank you so much din po, Ma'am Jo. And hoping sa mga manonood po ay marami po tayong matutunan at hindi lang po para sa natin na share din po natin sa mga kakilala po natin, sa pamilya natin, sa mga kakilala po natin sa buhay para hindi lang po tayo yung safe online. Sila din po. Ayan. So, thank you so much po ulit sa pakikinig ng ating session for today. Thank you so much po. And thank you so much sa ating master trainer na si Ma'am Jo. Ayan.
Scan and fill up our post test to get your digitally verifiable PhilPass certificate here. Scan and fill up our post test to get your digitally verifiable PhilPass certificate here.